Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation Podcast Festival Edition. Today, we are with Margaret Spiegel. She is from the Nelson Pioneer Farm and Museum. They host an annual fall festival. Looking forward to this. And Margaret, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Margaret, give us a little background on you. Where did you grow up? And talk a little bit about your family and your career.
So I grew up in West Central Illinois, grew up in a farming family, middle child of three. My family still farms out there. And instead of being that kid who wanted to be Indiana Jones or a paleontologist, I wanted to be Laura Ingalls Wilder. So history was a natural fit for me. Ended up studying history at Knox College for my undergraduate, and then went to graduate school at the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, where I got a master's degree in history, specializing in public history with museum studies certificate. And my parents, my sister, my brother, all kind of were interested in history. My dad especially, he at the dinner table would read out of the encyclopedia if we had a question about homework or what have you. So it was all a very natural fit for me to choose that career path. And I started working at a mining museum actually in Colorado and doing educational programming and events, and realized I didn't want to be that far from family. I'm a Midwestern girl at heart. So I loved it out there. It was beautiful. It just didn't end up being a long-term fit. So then I made my way back here to Iowa. So I'm in southeast Iowa. We're right on the cusp of where that regional divide is. But we're in Mahaska County. So our organization is actually the Mahaska County Historical Society. We're just better known as the Nelson Pioneer Farm.
Gotcha. Very good. Okay, let's jump in. Let's talk about your fall festival. It's been going on for quite a while now. I always ask these three questions. What does it look like? What does it smell like, meaning food? And what does it sound like, meaning music, environment? What are people going to hear? What are they going to see? What are they going to smell? What are they going to hear?
Yeah, so the Mahaska County Historical Society actually started as a museum in the county courthouse in 1942. And then once we moved to the Nelson Farm, so the grandchildren of homesteaders donated the original buildings and the property to the Historical Society, charged them with creating a museum to honor the pioneer legacy of their grandparents. So that opened to the public in 1964. And by 1965, we were hosting this festival as a celebration of that pioneer legacy. So it we have a 20-acre site with 15 historic buildings, 5 acres of demonstration fields, a large building that has all of our food. So unfortunately, you don't smell the food when you're on our site. You go into a building to do that, but it's also air conditioned.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to worry about the flies or the heat when you're enjoying that sit-down meal that our volunteers prepare. But you can definitely hear Americana music playing. We try to have local groups having that specific set. We actually have a local gospel group that has a specific Americana set. If it's not full Americana, we try to get bluegrass groups, a little more of that old time feel. But a lot of the sounds that you're hearing are actually our historic farm equipment. So our big to-do is it's an old-fashioned threshing bee. So we have a steam engine that you can hear the whistles piping as the steam is building up all day. We're running a large threshing machine. We've got a core of about 150 volunteers helping make this event run every year. But the public can also join in. So they can pitch the bundles of straw into the threshing machine. They get to ride horse wagons. It's all of that celebration of about 1850 to about 1920 is our predominant era, although we do have some more modern tractors also to celebrate farming because we are in a very active rural farming community.
Yeah, no, for sure. Margaret, let's touch base a little bit. Obviously you're passionate about this. What is the significance of knowing about our history and knowing how some of these things worked, what these people went through? What is the significance of that?
It really helps you build a deeper appreciation for what you have. I mean, it's sort of two-pronged for me. I'm a big believer in you don't really know where you're going until you know where you've been, because we are sitting on the foundation that all of these generations before us has laid. And so we're working with school kids. During our open season, May to September, we have about 1,000 school kids come in the month of May for field trips. And we really hit home on that. They get to do laundry with a hand wringer washer instead of just pushing a button, right? That you have a deeper sense of all of the things that we don't have to do anymore.
Right.
Someone else did, and someone else figured out there needs to be an easier way to do it.
Yeah, just gratitude. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's some of your greatest memories that you have throughout the fall festivals in the years that you've done that there?
So this is the start of my sixth season. So I've been through 4 fall festivals. The only time we've had to cancel was 2020 during the pandemic. We just, especially since a lot of our volunteers are older, we wanted to make sure that we were making a safe decision for everybody. But I love being able to interact with people. You have the wide swath. Our volunteers are fantastic. We see there's probably 5 or 6 families that it is a multi-generational. They've been involved with Historical Society about since the beginning, and now we're on the grandchildren and great-grandchildren who have been part of it that whole experience. And so they tell me, I learned so much from them with the stories that they share. So I love being able to watch the farm equipment. It took actually me going on a internship and actually having to plow with horses and oxen for me to even appreciate what my dad did. And so I was able to bring that knowledge to this site too, and have that deeper appreciation to be able to explain to folks, because the technology in farming, it has changed a lot. But with some of the more basic, I mean, if you're making a bale or if you are plowing a field, the equipment is just bigger now.
Yeah.
The basic technology is very close. It's just now enclosed, it's safer, and it's larger. But being able to see that in process, because it wasn't enclosed in 1860, I mean, I'm a visual learner, so that helps me a lot thinking through, oh, so this is what I've been doing every summer since I was 10 with pitch and bales. That's why that thing clicks, and that's what this mechanism does.
Yeah, exactly. Margaret, because I am in live entertainment, live music, I always ask these 2 questions at every interview. So question number 1 is, just to get an idea, I like to survey people's minds and their opinions. What is the best concert you've ever been to your entire life?
So I am a huge Irish music fan. So I've been to Celtic Woman 2 or 3 times, and I loved every one of them.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have known that. I would have said country or something like that as you go through there. Okay, let's spin that then. So you can bring any musical act, dead or alive, Margaret, to your museum, knowing that you're going to be raising money for a great cause. Who you bringing?
Johnny Cash, I think.
Yeah, no,
that twang, that extra little something, but still that deep rooted.
That would be perfect. Absolutely, very good, very good. Margaret, how do people find out more about the museum and the Fall Festival?
So nelsonpioneer.org is our website. You can also find us on Facebook at Nelson Pioneer Farm. We do keep our Facebook and our website pretty up to date. So we are actually getting ready to open for our season May 2nd. It's coming up quick. But a quick Google search for nelsonpioneerfarm.org and that'll get you going. That's
awesome. Thank you so much, Margaret, for being on with us today.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle